Hey guys, so as you can see, here's my rig. It has now been fully built out at this point. I've got the intake and exhaust vents. So there's one, as you can see at the front right there, and there's one at the back. Full Lexan case all around. I've got these carry handles, so it's a little bit more easy to maneuver. It's about the size of a full-size PC, like a full tower. You can see my GoPro off to the left decided to die, so I'm going to be filming this off of my phone, unfortunately. But, this is basically it. I just kind of covered the front up with some Gorilla Tape, because if I ever need to get in there and access any stuff for maintenance, it just makes it easy. I don't have to mount any hinges or anything like that. I might end up putting hinges on, but the problem is, since this thing's going to be sitting outside, that effectively means that it needs to be a little bit more waterproof. So what you can actually see is along the lines of this thing in the top, there's a bunch of silicone, which is what basically keeps the water out. That handle right there actually needs to get fixed. There's now a bit of a gap over in that section currently. But, here it is basically. I actually did not mean to have the fans that happen to have the blue LEDs in them. That was just, it's happenstance essentially. I happen to have the fans on hand, and so that's what I used. There is also a Ethernet cable coming out of the back, so I guess that's two cables. And that's going to be running over into my switch right now locally, so I can get this all set up and get all the individual units configured. And I'll kind of delve into that a little bit deeper in the second part of the video. Right now, basically, this is the case. It's probably the ugliest thing that I've ever built, but that's really kind of beside the point. The point is that it just houses all the units and, does work as it's supposed to do. Ultimately, once I basically get more of these units, or if it makes sense for me to get more of these units, what is essentially going to happen from that point onward is that you will actually see a completed case where you have more units and you also have more switches, and it'll be running, 24/7. Right now, I have only had test runs of about an hour or so, to be completely honest with you guys, so it's not been the longest running time ever, but, it's enough to kind of see how well it's working. Right now, you can see that all of the units are actually blinking through. They're essentially letting me know that everything's good to go on those. Ultimately, I'll know a little bit more once I'm actually running the whole setup to see how well each unit is performing, and ultimately see what the power draw is, what sort of clocks I'm getting on the CPU, and that'll kind of let me know where to go from that point forward. So this is the first part of the video. Look for the second part shortly after this to see the setup and all the software running. So stick around until that.